Good afternoon and a warm welcome to today's session. As a financial literacy organization, we at Moneylife Foundation realize that the importance of having a deep understanding of the stock market and how it impacts us on a regular basis. Many of us invest in stock market on a regular basis. But we do not understand the importance of the nuisance of the industry. I mean, how the small, tiny parts work in the stock market. So we just keep looking at the price. अरे ये शेयर का भाव इतना गया, उसका इतना नीचे आया. So, but we don't know what exactly happens behind all this scenario. And what happens is once we face an issue, we end up getting shoddy advice which instead of helping ruins the things further or complicates the thing further. Keeping that in mind, we had invited Advocate VM Dahake today. So Mr. Dahake is here. Advocate Dahake is a registered insolvency professional and has been empaneled as one by the Adv VM Bank and Oriental Bank of Commerce. He has more than 25 years of experience in banking in the areas of corporate finance, documentation, recovery, debt restructuring, and around 10 years of experience in consultancy in law and finance. He has been a regular panel member on Investors' Grievances Resolution Panel of the National Stock Exchange and has handled more than hundreds of such cases. Professionally, he practices as an advocate specializing in banking, finance, and arbitration matters. So today's the session format is quite simple. Mr. Dahake will have his presentation, and after his presentation, the session will be open for one-to-one guidance or one-to-one counseling. So if you have any issues, personal issues, then you can take his guidance for that. Over to you, Mr. Dahake.
Thank you. Yeah, good afternoon, friends. We'll be discussing about unauthorized stock trading, portfolio-related issues, as well as banking and insurance issues. Now, when it comes to the finance, my simple advice is just take responsibility for funds, and most of the things will follow. So, before we talk of unauthorized stock trading and all that, we'll find out what is authorized, what exactly are our rights under a common law, and what way we can do to protect our funds. Most of the times in stock market, I don't know if anyone of you had a problem come there or something. General thing I've been telling people is that famous dialogue in Sholay, घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती करेगा तो खाएगा क्या? So kindly understand that when you are interacting with any person on a financial terms, सामने वाला घोड़ा है तो आप घास बनने की कोशिश मत करो. Most probably and why not? Why should not somebody cheat you? Should be the basic mantra one should be asking, the investor should be asking himself. We can always talk on ideal conditions. Broker should be good, rules should be good, and other things should be good. But the problem is money is ours. And that is what my general philosophy is. And as far as the individual questions are concerned, we'll take it at the end. But if it adds for the academic purposes, feel free to contribute. Then secondly, for today's presentation, I have not got into too many nitty-gritties. So we are keeping it as simple as possible. So if you have some additional information to furnish, please feel free. Okay. So this is about stock trading, portfolio related. Portfolio is of course when somebody says, okay, I'll take care of your funds and I'll get you a good return. That's what shares together is called a stock, and stock together is called a portfolio. As a simple thing. And banking and insurance. Banking also, of course, I was in a bank long back, and then I was in a financial institution. And insurance, of course, I had my initial service in Life Insurance Corporation of India. So, but again, the basic funda is, I mean, just not to confuse the things. There are just 2-3 issues in finance. One is take responsibility over funds. Today's money is slightly less important. Sorry, it is more important than tomorrow's money. The financial expert will talk you of NRR, NPV, and other terms, but don't bother about it. If you are getting money 10 minutes back afterwards, just presume that you are not getting what you are invested. That is simple if you are getting the same money. In fact, while I was in Bank of Maharashtra, a slight diversion, we used to have one client who used to come in the morning, draw some funds from the CC, cash credit account, wherein cash credit again, I mean, all of you will be knowing, but it's an account where you can have either a credit balance or a debit balance. You can have your funds there, or you can have bank's funds in your pocket. So he used to take out money at 10:30 and again come out at around 2:33 when the bank is nearly closing and deposit the money with the bank. Now, in a bank's book, since at the end of the day the balance remains same, bank will not be charging you any money. And 10:30 is withdrawing, so he will be having a money. And this 10:30 to 2 he was not paying interest. But what you used to do is to go to a nearby sabji market. I am telling you of a period of between 1980 to 1983. Most of the markets were normal, places used to be small, and he used to lend it to those sabji market wallas. So he'll lend it at around 11 o'clock, collect it by 2 o'clock and deposit it. So at least you get few thousand rupees at the end of the day without doing anything. So always remember money, and that is what the funda of finance is. Now we come to the next slide, and the insurance, of course, because insurance also there is some confusion, and the worst part of insurance is when you need it most, when you need the claim, you understand that you have been cheated and nothing can be done. Okay. So unauthorized trading basically means one which has not been authorized by you. So you don't want to do it and somebody else does it for you, that's called unauthorized. Something which has not been authorized by you. Now the question is, what is authorized and enforceable? I mean, it may look too ridiculous to say what is authorized, but I will come to that. Many people have some different connotations about it. Then what are the things which vitiate the contracts? Suppose it's authorized, suppose it's proper, but still it may not be a proper contract. So what are the things that vitiate the contract? Vitiate means basically spoil the contract or make it null and void, make it slightly into the gray area. Then there is another important principle, because most of the people are used to saying that, oh, I have been cheated by him, I did not know it, it was done in good faith. So one of the basic principle when you undergo, am I talking too fast? No. Is okay. Is the principle of caveat emptor, which means buyer aware. Is the responsibility of buyer to do it. And when a stock market you do a transaction, whether you are buying the share or selling the share, you are basically a buyer. The decision you have to take and you are to be aware of it. Then again, going by the responsibility, estoppels and the earliest opportunity principle. Suppose something goes wrong, somebody has done a wrong, but you don't stop it. So what does it mean? Probably you are also playing a game. And with that goes another legal maxim, which is of acquiescence. If somebody is coming daily, picking up 5 rupees from my pocket, coming daily and going from my pocket, the policeman sitting here will say, okay, Dahake doesn't mind losing 5 rupees. He will not doubt that it's a robbery, it's a theft or anything. Unless I say, boss, stop it, I will not give you 5 rupees. So that is what this thing will discuss. Then again about the power of attorney and the running account misconception. This I am covered because power of attorney, people know that they have given power to someone else to act on their behalf. But again, it has certain legal implications. And apart from that, again, I am coming back to the fundamental principle. Remember, it's your money. It is your power of attorney, not of someone else's power of attorney. If you keep that at the back of your mind, probably most of the things will get settled. And then the running account. The portfolio related, then we'll also talk about demat account, PO issues. Bit of a repetition now. Portfolio management scheme arrangement. Then people enter into their own arrangements. पैसे कमा के दूंगा, stop loss करके दूंगा, loss recovery करके दूंगा. Those all beneficial arrangements. How it ends into fiasco, who takes the responsibility for burns. And then past no indicators. You always come across the people who talk very sweet, tell you they earn 20% for this client, 40% for this client, show you last 2-3 months picture. This generally happens when the market is in the last bull phase. Generally people will come, they show you that, see boss, I have earned this much, I have earned this, that much, which will be a truth, 100% truth. But again, it generally comes at the end and is generally a misleading presentation. They will be also taking you through some of, like it was told, I am a member of Investor Grievances Resolution Panel. Again, I am one of the members of the panel. There are 8-9 independent people. So whatever complaints you have against the share broker related to stock markets, they go to the Investor Grievances Resolution Panel in the first go. Rather, first go it goes to the department. The department puts it up to the Investor Grievances Resolution Panel. If it doesn't satisfy their either of the party or even the both parties can do the next, which is called an arbitration. From arbitration it goes to the arbitration 2 at the exchange level only. Subsequent to that you can go to the High Court under section 34 on a limited basis. Now again there is another misconception here. People think, okay, I will keep on appealing, I can go to the High Court and Supreme Court. But higher you go, court don't go into the simple issues. What is legally called is an adjudication that basically happens at a lower stage. So whenever you are going for a fight, make sure your gunpowder is dry at the first go only. Don't expect that, okay, let me come and immediately hurriedly do it, and then at a later stage I will do it. Is not a proper method. Other thing between investor grievances resolution panel and arbitration is IGRP is a sort of a mediation cum conciliation I'll say proceedings. Mediation conciliation is IGRP is a sort of a friendly panel like we are discussing here. We listen to one party, we listen to the other party, we try to find out the facts. We try to read the body language. We try to appeal to the senses, we try to appeal to the conscience, we try to appeal to the common sense and try to settle it. We just see what has gone wrong, whose money has gone wrong. And other advantage is the person who comes to the IGRP is generally from the back office team. So person who is beneficiary of your wrongdoing, of the wrongdoing done to you, is not the person who comes to the meeting. Person who comes to the meeting is generally from the back office or from a law who is interested in retaining the client. So he is able to take a conscious decision, and based on our prodding, he probably sometimes is in a position to give an investor some relief which he will not be getting from the broker when it goes to the arbitration. And arbitration, whatever you say or whatever you do will be going against you, may go against you in case you do something wrong. At IGRP you can feel free. When we draft the minutes, although you would have probably inadvertently admitted something against yourself, we don't record it. And secondly, we also tell the same thing to a broker, that even if the employee does something, makes some misstatement, we don't put it in the writing. Because he also is an employee and he also has certain obligations to us. But that helps to reconcile at many times. In fact, almost 40-50% of my cases I have seen, I have been able to work out some middle way. The banking will have a general discussion, basically loans, settlement. This is one issue because we know now NP is the hot topic. So settlement, what happens, what are the way the banks try to play smart and what way you can play smart. And coming to the, so banking will discuss generally. Coming to the life insurance thing, okay, my background is from life insurance, general insurance also. Basically insurance simple principles apply. All insurance things are governed by Indian Insurance Act 1938. That again is based on the Indian Contract Act. General contract principles or the general legal principles remain. So important thing is Uberima fight. Then who is agent? Again there is some misconception about the agency. Is a common one, but it continues. Then what happens in mis-selling? How the term insurance, endowment insurance, life and unit links are confused. About the returns also there are some assurances and then the things get confused. Whether to insure or not, and then secondly, again important, savings versus insurance. About whether to insure or not, I am just telling you an important quote. They say almost 99% of the people who insure, they don't need it, or maybe even 99.99% of the people who do the insurance, life insurance, don't need it. So whether you should go for it or not. But guaranteedly the 0.01% who needs it 100%. That's what they say. So that's not an issue, but there's one thing to be remembered always. I'm telling you in advance only because I should not miss it and it's very important. Then saving versus insurance. Okay, now we come to the unauthorized trading. Now before that, can you tell me what is authorized? What's an authorized trading?
We are running an account with a broker and then we are placing a buy or sell order.
Okay.
That is authorized.
And the broker does it?
Broker means that is done automatically through the computer system.
Suppose you tell for buying 100 Tisco, broker buys 150 Tisco.
Yeah, because power of attorney is given to him.
Okay.
Signed.
Then what happens to it? You told to buy 100 Tisco,
Yeah.
5,000 rupees. Your 10,000 rupees is with broker. He buys 150 Tisco. So is it authorized? Is it unauthorized?
That 50 extra will appear in the this one contract.
That's right. Is it?
We will come to know that he has done something wrong.
Then he is agreeing. You told 100, he bought 150. Is it authorized? Is it unauthorized?
50 is unauthorized.
Unauthorized, okay. What if you say also okay?
Then you authorized it post facto.
Yeah, then it gets, whole thing is authorized. Sorry, whole thing gets authorized. So that you have to remember. So the contract, they say, happens when there is an offer to do or not to do something. There is an acceptance offer in a specific clear terms. If offer is X, acceptance has to be for X. It cannot be for X plus, X minus or Y. And there has to be some consideration. You tell me to buy something I don't buy, is not a contract. So for authorized trade, there has to be a proper offer. You should be telling your broker, buy something, sell something, buy at what rate, buy at that rate. And that becomes a clear-cut offer. Now when he sells it, he has to sell exactly, sell, buy or do whatever you are told has to be done. You have told him, buy 100 at 100 rupees, stop loss at this rupees, sell at this rupees. So now he has to necessarily go for that. If there is a slight deviation, broker is responsible for to the extent of deviation. Like take the case of Tisco example which we said. 150, okay, I mean the 50 is authorized, but you are told 100, broker about 150, and subsequently Tisco has gone down by 10 rupees. Can you reject the entire 150? Can you tell broker, no, I told you to buy 100 Tisco, you bought 150, I don't want Tisco now. Because it has gone down by 10 rupees. Can you do it or not? Obviously not, because 100 broker is responsible for the balance 50. You can as well say 50 I don't want. If it goes up, you can always say I want the entire thing, he will give you. So offer has to be proper, acceptance has to be there, and there has to be some consideration for a valid contract. No consideration. Consideration has to be a valid. Valid means what?
Money paid or received.
Yeah, money paid, received, and it should not be basically illegal consideration. Act should not be illegal. It is not something which will defy the provisions of any law. That is one particular word is there. Defy the provisions of any law. It may not be blatantly illegal, but it can indirectly defy the provision of any law. That's not the proper here. I am going wrong side. I am saying, police wala, you are taking 50 rupees daily from me. Why don't you allow me to go? There is an offer, there is an acceptance, there is a consideration. Indian government note. The question is, it violates the traffic rules. Okay? So it defies the provisions of a law, so it's not a valid contract. It's not an enforceable contract. Then agreement, oral agreement, writing not necessary. Now many days the issue arises is, in fact, this we had some small argument in exchange also. Suppose you tell somebody to buy some 1 lakh quantity of Tisco. Your broker buys it. You recently sold some flat or property, the money was with the broker. You told him to buy 1 lakh quantity and he bought it. Is the agreement, is it authorized trade or unauthorized trade? Now you feel that no, 1 lakh I should not have bought because Tisco has gone down by 10 rupees. So I am down by 10 lakh rupees. And generally broker should not have bought more than 100, 200. You know that I am a common man. Why should he buy 1 lakh? I am not given anything in writing. Is it a valid contract or is it an invalid contract?
Legally valid, but legally valid.
And illegally invalid.
Because computer mistakes have happened recently.
No, it's not a computer mistake. I am telling you, he is told to buy.
Punching.
No mistake. He says you buy 1 lakh quantity.
Yeah, verbally.
Verbally, yes. There is no writing. Is it valid or not?
It's valid because he said like that. And then it's recorded every time.
No, it is not recorded.
Certainly.
Is it valid or not? Is admitted. He said
It is valid.
it is valid. Yeah, because for a contract act clearly says that oral agreement will do. Writing is not necessary. In fact, recently we had one meeting at the exchange, and then it was said like, okay, you are not, if the broker has not taken everything in writing, whether that should be valid or not. Suppose on ethical grounds you may differ, like But we are talking of purely in a legal. We'll come to an individual example subsequently, and what way it can be done or what cannot be done. But writing is not necessary. And if you go for the stock market, anybody who is a regular punter here?
Yeah, regularly.
Not regular, no? Otherwise, what people do is they even don't put it in writing. They will go to the stock market, sit next to the person who is on the trading, and they will shout, Nifty 200, Bank Nifty 500, ये कर दे, वो कर दे, ₹2 ऊपर गया, sell, again buy. Anybody, if you have seen the actual traders, or since you are of my age group, anybody who has seen the Jizabai Towers and that ring, you don't have, people practically hold you by ear, pull your ears towards their mouth, and then they give you an order. Buy 5,000 speak, buy Mahindra, buy this thing. You know, so there is no question of, no scope for writing and anything. I remember I was sitting in one office, I mean that I had no important role, during last, I think sometime in 2008. The portfolio investor from outside told these people that you open office at 9:30, your all staff should be at 9:30. I don't mind market opens at 9:45 or something. I want all your people to be at the desk at 9:30, give me a confirmation. And then immediately at the moment market open, in 5 minutes he said you sell. Simple. There's no question of putting writing, instruction, email or anything. He said, moment I tell you, in 5 minutes it should be sold. And that way it was done. So again,
So these are practical things you're talking about.
Yeah.
What is the law? These things are different.
yeah.
Because a broker is beholden to a large...
That's why I said ethical part and other thing, and how they are taken, misused, will come to that later. But again, like fundamental principle, it is your money. If something happens, somebody plays with it, you will be losing it, not the broker. If the broker takes your 100 rupees and refunds you after 1 year, it is not 100 rupees. I have told you very clearly. Okay? So it's your money. Just remember, oral is good enough. So what do you do if you have wrongly tell something? Suppose I told my broker to buy Tisco, again we'll take that example, Tisco 1 lakh rupees instead of 100 Tisco at a say price X, when the market price is X minus 5. What should I do?
At what stage do you get to know that you made a mistake?
Immediately. Wait 2 minutes. Let's say my price is still at that rate. It has not reached the striking point.
Tell him to square it off, right?
Yeah, tell him to square it off or tell him to cancel the order. And to be on the safer side, if you think that he's into some monkey business, send email also. And suppose it has been executed. If the price is around that, best way is to accept the responsibility and sell it off. Accept the responsibility, it doesn't matter. Not that everybody makes money, not all these people make money. I am talking here, but I am still not made any money, let me tell you. Okay? So now, as I said, governing law, Indian Contract Act, again, note the important words. Common sense best. Basically, your money, you take a responsibility. If somebody plays some monkey business with it, make sure that you have a proper proofs and other things to tackle it.
But this verbal order was a phenomena of the past, like Bombay Stock Exchange also.
They can hear.
See, this verbal orders, etc., that is called as an open outcry system. That was there in BSE, and then till now it is there in NYSE. NYSE
Yeah,
is
okay,
electronic
okay.
also, and then open outcry also.
Yeah.
Here it is a completely now electronic.
Correct.
But in a electronic thing also, in a broker's house, we make a telephone call and tell him.
Yeah.
It's like a open outcry only. It means,
Yeah.
something like that. That is why this verbal is to be accepted. Means, we cannot say no.
It is accepted, no?
Yeah.
The brokers refer to it as online and offline. Like,
Yeah. Suppose I am doing myself and then punching, then no question of verbal.
that is online.
Yeah,
They call it
but
online.
otherwise
Yeah.
offline is there,
Telephonic or
then we are
offline.
talking. That is why both the systems are still going on.
Yeah.
That is how.
I don't know what percentage is online. I mean, I don't know the percentage, I think, but majority still must be offline.
No,
No?
I think
Maybe because of the institutional brokers and all that.
50% is now online.
Online.
Now, mobile. Most of the things are happening through mobile.
Mobile, yeah.
Even algorithmic trading is.
Yeah, that is all
much more
online.
faster,
That is all online.
60%.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah.
No, I said, there's an offer, there's acceptance, there is a okay consideration, whether there's a valid contract. And the generally we said it's okay. But what if there is a fraud? What if there is a misrepresentation? Fraud, everybody knows. We are a country with lots of fraud, so there is no question of anybody not doing it. Misrepresentation is a common thing. Ek pe ek free and all those things, and bad dates, expired products. Undue influence. You find out that the person doesn't have much here, but he has the money. So you find out who is gullible. Tell him, show him some graphs, charts, and sell the thing. Breach of trust. It generally happens. You know somebody for some 5-10 years, he joins some share broker, he again approaches you, he has been handling your finance, he has been okay with you. You actually give him a property and then he takes misuse of it. घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती नहीं कर सकता, वो बताया मैंने. तो वो थोड़ा सा careful रहना breach of trust. Then now coming to criminal angle. No, say fraud and other things are basically breach of trust are criminal things. At IGRP we are not empowered to either take any criminal action or this thing. We generally advise, okay, you approach appropriate court, you may go for a police action and other thing. So that for an individual. Now again, all these things, burden is on the person who alleges. Why I'm telling you is, generally people have said, he has cheated me, this thing has happened, ask broker to produce this, ask broker to do that. That will not happen, it's your money, responsibility is yours. Now a few days back we had an interesting case. There was an F&O activation form. Like when you don't opt for an F&O in the, F&O is future and option. You don't opt for F&O in the normal account opening form. The broker takes you a separate F&O form, wherein again there is a disclosure saying that I know about the market risk involved and how I'll be behaving with it and all that. Now this fellow said that my signature is not there, the signature is wrong. Behind it was a demat statement. He said again that signature is not mine. The demat holding is also shown incorrectly at a lesser amount. Broker said this form has been given to me by the investor. If there has been a forgery, it is the investor sent. Now, since the investor is alleging the forgery, he will have to prove it. Broker will not go to some third party and say, okay, this is forged. Unless investor has to do it, prepare properly, and then go to approach the authorities. Then contributory negligence. So someone is negligent, but we are also negligent. Both people rushing at the intersection with equal speed. Caveat emptor means basically buyer has to be aware. If I am going outside to buy some leafy vegetable, my wife tells me to buy spinach and I buy methi, is my mistake. I cannot say no, she should arrange for the exchange. So responsibility is on the buyer to check. Buyer is deemed to be aware. Kindly note the words deemed. So whether you are aware or not is a different story. You are deemed to be aware. If you are doing it openly, you are deemed to be aware of it. If I am crossing the highway, I am deemed to be aware of the vehicles coming from the both sides. I am deemed to be aware of the light, whether it is green or yellow. If I am a colorblind, I should better not go like that unless making sure. I had no knowledge of future and options. I knew only of a cash market. I told differently. The margin was not with the broker. Those are excuses. They of course help, and in genuine cases they may come handy. But basically it's all risky area. Those are not the excuses. Then running account. We say broker maintains the account. Again, mind you, it is your account. Whether it is running or otherwise. What is the running account basically?
Transactions are happening.
Yeah, because nowadays, earlier it used to be a fortnightly settlement, then we moved forward to a weekly settlement, then I think it was 3 days or 5 days, and now it is T+2 settlement. So what it means is, if something is sold on the T+2 days, at the end of it, you should be able to get that money in your bank. Now what happens is people buy it, then again after 2 days again sell it, again change through the bank, even then NEFT and other charges are applicable. So broker takes a running account authorization, which basically means you maintain a diary with you, and whatever is payable to me, you credit it, whatever is given to me, you give it to me, and whenever I need the money, I will ask you to make the payment. Whenever I want to buy something more than what my money permits, I will put it the money. So that's a running account. But that again doesn't mean broker can sit on it. This I am saying because we had come across one case wherein broker told him, no, you have the money in your running account, but you need to come only after 1 month. So basically, remember, it is your money, it's your responsibility, and nobody can stop you from having access to your funds. If there is any law, it will be illegal. Okay. So it simply means broker need not pay on T+2 basis. Monthly clearance is also okay. And safer method is better to take a periodical payouts. If you have bought something, sold something, got money, don't let it be remain idle with the broker. Best is to take a payout and keep it in your account. Now, what are the safeguards the exchange allows? Now, what I said, there has to be offer, acceptance, and other things. How do we make sure? Now, have a macro view of the things. India as a country, exchange as one of the things, spread through brokers, spread through say various sub-brokers, and then there are various terminals. Sub-brokers have some other feeding channels, and the business is generated. That is what the macro view is. So what does the exchange say? They say, okay, the contract note has to be as per prescribed pro forma. It should give the time when the business has been done. It should show the brokerage. It should show the individual script code. And it has to show brokerage separately and the other charges separately. So the investor is entitled to a contract. Post trade, he should get a SMS. Moment the trade is done, after the trade is done, at the end of the day, he should get the SMS. Most of the brokers have now started simultaneous SMSs. The moment the trade is done, parties are getting the SMS. Recently, from 1st of April, the pre-trade confirmation have told. Generally, what used to happen is the investors will be getting a call at the end of the day. Other man will just jumble out few words. Investors will say, yeah, yes. And then that will be taken as a confirmation of the trade done. This was one of the major problems. So SEBI said, okay, you will get a pre-trade confirmation. So now there is a dedicated line on which he is supposed to accept the calls. And that is to be proved. Now there are people, I said, like those who are used to gamble mostly on engaging in intraday. When the online segment was not very much active, people used to go and sit in the sub-broker's office and give the orders. Now there is no possibility of any pre-trade confirmation there. So even in that case, SEBI says, okay, you maintain a register and take his sign. But again, like I told you, if you go by the law of the land, just because the pre-trade confirmation is not there doesn't mean the sale becomes illegal or the purchase or the contract becomes illegal. Only thing is burden of proof shifts. There is a needle of suspicion which points to the broker. Then there are margin requirements. Unless there is a particular margin, he cannot trade. Now recently, I think from 1st of September, earlier the margin used to be given point blank to anybody. Now they have said, no, there has to be some cash margin. Now again, cash margin, you have to see the term. Cash at times denotes cash and cash equivalents. So something which can be converted into a cash is also treated as a cash. And then periodical ledger. No, okay, some harm has been done, money has gone and all that, but there are some actions of our which stop us from claiming it. So basically what? Is a contra conduct. I am getting a daily phone call, believe me, it happens. Some person who is known to me, he tells ki saab ye le lo. I said, okay, take it, but loss to nahi hoga. Okay, take it. Shall we do 500 or 300? Shall we keep stop loss? Will not do much. He says like that. I said, okay. What does happen? This conduct is contrary to what you are saying. People say, no, I don't know anything. I did not know anything, but then you are saying, okay, go ahead. What does it mean? Even if you do not know what is FNO, even if you do not know profit or loss, generally what happens is, again, broker, when he tells you the amount, the trade which has done, he tells you, okay, I have bought Tisco at 100 rupees. He doesn't know Tisco at 100 rupees means 100 plus 3 rupees plus 30 paisa brokerage plus some other charges, it is 100 rupees 50 paisa. He says, I have bought it at 100 rupees and I have sold it at 100 rupees 20 paisa. So you are happy that you have made 20 paisa. Whereas when you pay brokerage on the both sides, you find that the broker has got richer and your portfolio has shrunk. Recently I had one IGRP case. The 1.50 lakh of investment of the person was wiped out in a matter of 1 or 2 days. Amount of brokerage generated was 1.34 lakhs. Mind you, investment amount 1.50 lakh, brokerage generated 1.34 lakh.
That even today also happens. See, some brokers, they charge 50 rupees per lot. Suppose the lots are 1000, 50,000 will be just brokerage.
Brokerage, yeah.
It has happened. But some brokers, they charge only 20 rupees per trade. Means instead of a 50,000 rupees, it will be only 20 rupees. So this difference is till today available. Suppose some investor doesn't know, this is a per lot is a 50 rupees. And most of the brokers charge like that. They are just cheating. A lot of money is going in the brokerage. Means the profit will be 4,000 and brokerage will be 40,000.
The issue here is, again, it's your money. When you are trading, you should take a conscious call.
But how much? See, the FNO is a so complicated and innumerable instruments. The one person understanding is very, very difficult because we are doing our own job and then by the way investing and trading. But the broker is a full time there. They are more aware. And then another thing is that the brokers doesn't want the investor should be more aware. Because their stakes are involved, they deliberately keep some information away.
Again, I am taking a contra. Yeah, absolutely. I am taking a contra view here. Why should broker want investor to be friendly? घोड़ा घास से दोस्ती करेगा?
But we are not enemies.
The issue is, I'm not talking about ideal right now. I'm just telling you the background so that we become more aware and we are sensitized to the things.
Yeah.
Then we'll come to the latter part, because when we say we are IGRP members, investor grievances resolution process, idea is to help the investors. But the idea before that is, though no investor gets cheated.
Yeah.
And the first person to get sensitized more about his money is the investor himself, rather than a broker or somebody. That is the idea.
Yeah, but he learns at a very high cost. 40,000 जब brokerage गया तब उसको समझ में आएगा ये इतना.
सर लेकिन मुझे कुछ
हाँ बोलिए ना.
कुछ ग्रिड भी तो होती है ना बंदों को. अभी आपने बोला कि इतना ब्रोकरेज लगता है. अभी कोई जो ब्रोकरेज कोई बोलते कि हम लोग फ्री में दे रहे हैं या कुछ कर रहे हैं, ऐसे कुछ ब्रोकरेज एक्स्ट्रा एफएनओ पे लगाते हैं. अभी जैसे अगर हमने भी देखा मतलब छोटी मेरे इन्वेस्टमेंट के करियर के अंदर कि जैसे अगर हम लोग किसी नर्सरी का लड़का है उसको पेंसिल पकड़ने नहीं आता और उसको बोलेंगे तो पीएचडी का पढ़ाई कर, होगा क्या? अभी कोई बंदे ने इन्होंने किसी ने शेयर्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं किया है, कब फिर दोबारा वो इंट्राडे भी करते, फिर फ्यूचर ऑप्शन भी करते, फिर कहाँ से होगा ये? बेसिक तो पता होना चाहिए.
नहीं पता होना चाहिए. बट भैया मैंने बताया कि अपना पैसा, हाँ, ग्रीड एंड फियर जो बोलते हैं कि दो बेसिक मोटिवेटर्स रहते हैं आदमी को कि वो मैन के जैसे चल रहे हैं, और दूसरा ऐसा कि अपना पैसा अपना जा रहा है तो मालूम रहता ना. ग्रीड इज वॉट? ग्रीड टू अर्न मोर मनी. फियर इज दैट माई मनी विल बी लॉस्ट. तो जिम्मेदारी तो अपनी रहती है ना. अब ब्रोकर ने करना चाहिए, सेबी ने करना चाहिए, वो सब ठीक है, उस पर अपन आएंगे एक एक चीज़ पे क्या किया नहीं किया, बट बेसिकली तो अपना ही है. एंड देन सेकेंडली, विदाउट नोइंग एनीथिंग, स्टॉक मार्केट में देखो बहुत सारी अकल की ज़रूरत रहती नहीं है. वहाँ पे मतलब आप अगर देखोगे, आई डोंट नो वॉरेन बफेट एजुकेशन एंड ऑल दैट कितना ये था और ये है, या अपने यहाँ पे जो हु इज दैट मैन, अपना राकेश झुनझुनवाला. I met the classmate of Rakesh Junjunwala. He said he wasn't that brilliant.
He's still a CA.
Huh?
He's still a CA.
Yeah, I mean, class, he was not nothing extraordinary. I mean, probably then half of us should have been Rakesh Junjunwala. But that's standard.
Anyway, this session is not about.
Yeah, that's right.
We are looking at the structure of the market and how to guard
of the
against.
market. So basically, taking responsibility for the funds. Then power of attorney we are giving, it's for settlement purposes, still can be misused, double-edged, not for trading. Like somebody says they had given my power of attorney, this is what the general conception is. Sometime back a person came who had lost few crores, he said, sir, I made a major mistake, I give him a power of attorney to do everything. Now if you make such statement against yourself, that will be totally wrong. Power of attorney, if you happen to read it, is only to facilitate settlement. Now in a T+2, what happens is if you sell some shares, you have to give delivery of it to the broker on T+2 days. If you don't do it, Somebody else, broker has to buy it from the market and give the delivery. And the difference between the two will be charged to your account. Hence, they insist for a power of attorney. It is not mandatory, but brokers do. There are some brokers who will say, okay, if you are doing business with me, give a power of attorney, otherwise you don't do it. You go to some other broker. And they have a reason to say, who will be following your that demat slip and person coming. Labor is very difficult nowadays to organize. So, power of attorney is for that purposes. Then power of attorney to trade is not permissible in favor of brokers or related party, even if we are talking of separate power of attorney here, not the same power of attorney. It is not possible for even trading purpose you want to give it. It's not permissible in favor of brokers or related party, and power of attorney is revocable. There are irrevocable power of attorneys, but there are some other conditions attached. I will not go into it. Portfolio related issues. Portfolio management is a separate segment. Minimum amount invested to be 25 lakhs. There is a separate agreement, separate contract. What is done is basically the person who undertakes the portfolio management, he uses his expertise and gets you the return, generates the money of it. They take part as a fixed amount, part as a division of profit, and gives you the balance. Sometimes people give you a good amount, so there is a specific agreement. But again, remember, past is no indication. What happens is, again, when the bull market has peaked and now they say now something can happen, people go for an aggressive portfolio management drive. Most of the brokers will go get a portfolio clients and try to market it. So remember, then they will show you, see sir, market has moved from this point to that point, this point to this point. Our clients have portfolio has gone 20%. Ultimately, cash is the king. How much has gone to the money into the pockets of the people over a period of time. Other thing is, return at gross and net level can vary substantially. I am making it a point. Because what happens if the returns are gross, fund manager's commission as a part of return earned is not much. But funds manager commission is on the total funds handled and the other things. That has to be seen carefully. So at times, people's experience is when the market is flat or not gone up much, the returns are negative, gross returns are positive. Even those dedicated fund managers, they don't take a hit in their commissions.
So, Mr. Dahake,
Yeah.
these complaints would not go to NSE, right? They'll go only to SEBI scores.
They'll go only to SEBI. NSE is, okay, now coming to the NSE complaint, like I said, that law of contract and all that is governs it. No, why do you go to an arbitration? Why don't you go to the civil court?
Could you give us some examples of the kind of complaints that come to NSE? What are the common complaints that you are seeing these days coming to the...
Yeah, I will come to that. I will coming to the issue. See, jurisdiction of NSE flows from your contract. In the contract note, if you buy some goods from some outside things, or if you go and stay in some hotel, you will find that they write subject to Mumbai jurisdiction. And you sign on it. It means any dispute related to that, you can have it only in Bombay. Similarly, if you go for NSE and BSE, it says, okay, governed by this bylaw, these rules, and it is okay. So then under that bylaws, you have IGRP 1, IGRP 2, and other things. And broker is also bound by it. So if you are doing any DAWA transaction, there is no NSE or any other recourse. No, okay, we come to that IGRP examples. Ajay, anybody wants to suggest?
I just want to add one thing. इसे घोड़ा घास के साथ कुश्ती निकलता है, वो सही है. और इसका जो घोड़ा के एक मालिक
है उसको हम लोग we should not ignore that.
Agree.
And that Malik is SEBI, which is allowing the ghoda to eat you.
नहीं करते हैं,
That is part of the structure which you can't say, but I thought I should add it.
नहीं agreed. That's why I said those. What do I say? Those are things that will help us to control or to regulate the. SEBI is basically to regulate the market, not control. That was the wrong word I used.
but they have allowed these rules, whatever, the structure.
It's very difficult. The way people come. In fact, I have been on IGRP since few years. Initially, there used to be a monthly 3-4 meetings. Then of course the new rules came, the SMS came, other thing, it has gone down. Now of course with this margin thing, saying that should not give a margin, that should help.
But POA came 15, 18 years ago, and it has taken so many years for a very slow process of rules to evolve to make the investor a little safer.
Yeah, that's right.
All these things could have happened earlier.
The problem gets pursued as a problem only when large number of people are affected. Government doesn't do act till then. Okay, and I'm giving you the examples. We'll have a discussion. This is a real life situation. Complainant says that he requested to deal only in cash segment. And if you have seen the account opening form, there in your ticks, cash, F&O, derivatives, cash, F&O, currency and all that. He had signed on all, but he says last 10 years I was with some particular broker, I have never traded in F&O. Then he says, gave a letter saying that, okay, you open the F&O, but he said that letter is forged. On phone he was asked, on the basis of this letter, on phone he was asked about the Aadhaar and the PAN and other thing, and was told something about, he did not hear properly, whether F&O is to be activated. And he just had a discussion, and he did not know that F&O will be done. Then he got a call, and he innocently discussed some trades over phone. And now he says that all F&O trades are wrong. Member said, I have followed all procedures. He submitted few call logs because he did not say what all the trades are wrong or what all the instructions have not been followed. So he submitted few call logs. He said for all cases I have said real-time SSS. As and when as the trade has taken place, the SMS has gone to the party. And he says if letter is forged, it is not at TM level. Our observation was again loss 1.5 lakh, brokerage 1.34. F&O activation given over phone. We said when somebody told you, again, remember my earlier principle. He says F&O letter is not been given by me. But now when he is asked over phone, कि सर आपला F&O ॲक्टिव्ह करायचा आहे आणि यू आर सो अँड सो, ही सेज हो मी तो आहे, तुमचा व्हॉट इज युअर आधार नंबर, पॅन नंबर अँड ऑल दॅट, अँड ही गिव्स द डिटेल्स. सो माय ऑब्झर्वेशन वॉज की F&O activation given over phone. KYC not properly complied. No, on his KYC, in case of although he had signed on all segments, there somebody had written only cash segment. There is no sign on that. Who has written it there on that is not there, but that was my observation. Now tell me, if this is the situation, what should be done? What I want you are in the light of what we discussed, or otherwise also what can be done?
Proper training should be given. Whoever is
let's not go into general.
Once happened.
Here is a complainant, here is a trading member. What is he saying? Here is general observation on that. It is a live case. Live means just recently dead, I will say.
So it's partly both their faults, because I don't know why you would innocently have discussions on F&O trades unless it is to buy or sell. So as you keep saying that it's your money, you should be careful. So the brokers, clearly somebody from the broker's office is luring the person to make mistakes. But I think this is an example of the investor also being a little careless. But I still don't think that entitles the broker to take advantage of it and take him for a ride, because the kind of brokerage charge, it clearly shows that the F&O was done only for earning brokerage and not for the benefit of the broker.
No, this oral contract is okay, I guess. You're talking about it. I accept because the structure accepts, although I don't agree that it should be like that. But that, forget about what I think. But to say that whether I will trade in this segment or that segment can't be oral. That has to be documented, is my view.
It was there in KYC after you.
No, you said cash trades, cash transaction only was written over there, you said.
See what the form is. There are some blocks: cash, F&O, currency. He signed, we ticked all unsigned. And then here somebody had written, somebody means the wording, it was there, cash segment only.
I think that is good enough, one. Second is KYC not properly compliant is a big flaw on the.
Means that thing only.
Yeah, so I think that this is a flawed contract.
Yeah.
According to me, the segment itself.
Okay.
I'm not talking of individual trades.
Okay.
Ab initio, I don't have a contract with the broker for the FNO segment. This is my view.
Okay.
I think first thing is there is some flaws in KYC not followed. Other thing is this intentions of broker is not correct. Because from the transaction we can see that he had done a lot of blunders.
What transaction you can see?
His brokerage is 1.3 lakhs out of.
He's into earning?
No, but his earning intentions are not correct, I think.
Suppose you were a broker, how you would have done it differently?
No, that is.
No, my if I am a broker, my job is also to support the investor to earn the money. It's
Now
not,
coming to the
siphoning all.
No, well taken care of. I also felt
Thank you.
similarly.
सर ये किसी मिडिल क्लास बंदे का होगा. This must be of some middle class person, and he can say कि how can I take such a big risk? When broker made 1.34 lakh rupees, it means that the contract must be of crore rupees somewhere. So how a middle class person can take such a big?
Explain this.
Middle class persons are taking such big risk. One. Second, the point is that the brokerage rates are written in the contract itself and is signed by the investor. At that time, you should have seen whether it's 50 rupees per lot or 20 rupees per trade, which this gentleman is talking about. It is a responsibility of the investor when he's signing that contract to see the brokerage. And in fact,
There is other angle to it.
सर
What these people do, they trade heavily. So brokerage might be the small, but unfortunately, call log was not properly available, and even this fellow, instead of denying all the trades, what he should have done is, the thing for which the telephonic calls were provided, he should have said, okay, those are acceptable, rest are denied. He should have studied, got the details of call, got the entire thing, and then come with the preparation. Because the basic, like I told you, like now the IGRB chance is gone. IGRB has to be closed on that day. So had she prepared well in advance, what exactly has gone wrong, where he has got cheated, and admitted whatever trades he discussed.
but that's a legal strategy. If they don't know about their own trades, what legal strategy will they
He
follow?
discussed, no? Those recording was available with him. He could have even checked with exchange would have given him.
That's not fair. It's not that the exchange gives anything. I mean, if a person has been cheated, this is the whole point that we say that, you know, when they're coming for to the NSC, if NSC is seriously giving guidance on how to prepare the case, should also be told to the investor. Rather
that is
than
our,
putting
no?
you in front of the
Investor-
broker and say, you should have come prepared.
Investor, before lodging a complaint formally, generally goes to NSE or generally enters into interaction. That time in the case has to be prepared properly. Initially I covered the point.
सर
No, see what happens is innocently discuss trades over phone, nobody will immediately agree. On phone just confirmed Aadhaar as did not doubt all F&O trades denied. It casts doubt on the credibility. कि भई ये बंदे में कुछ गलत है या ठीक नहीं बोल रहा है.
सर
And then secondly, understand the real life situation. At times, broker will not be releasing all information in one go. Last time we'll say, okay, sir, I have also this recordings, kindly have a look.
सर उसको तो भुगतना पड़ेगा ना जो बंदे को ब्रोकरेज पड़ा इतना, क्योंकि जैसे आपने अकाउंट ओपन करते हैं.
नहीं, अभी भी बता रहा हूँ मैं आपको, जो मैंने पहले बताया था वो इम्पोर्टेंट था. आई सेड RGRP, मीडिएशन, आर्बिट्रेशन, थोड़ा एक फ़र्क रहता है. तो ये बंदे को मैंने वही बताया अल्टीमेटली, ब्रोकर के सामने ही बताया. आई सेड कि भाई द रिकॉर्ड्स डोंट फेवर यू. ये सब वजह से तो आई एम गिविंग अगेंस्ट यू बिकॉज यू आर नॉट क्लियरली ब्रॉट आउट एनीथिंग. But if the 1.34 lakh is brokerage, what should be the volume of business? Suppose it's a pure F&O, no options.
सर कुछ बोलूँ क्या मैं?
1% है तो 1 करोड़, 0.1% है तो 10 करोड़, 10 करोड़ का टर्नओवर, तो उसके लिए वॉल्यूम जस्टिफाई होना चाहिए. हाँ बोलिए.
सर अभी तो उसको भुगतना पड़ेगा ना सर.
हाँ,
अभी तो उसको भुगतना पड़ेगा. अभी जैसे उसने बोला कि लॉस मुझे 1.5 लाख का हो गया, ब्रोकरेज मैंने उतना दिया था. जब हम लोग अकाउंट ओपन करते हैं नॉर्मली, तो फर्स्ट बात तो है कि जैसे अगर शेयर्स में अगर हमको इन्वेस्ट करना है तो उसका अलग फॉर्म होता है, और जो ऑप्शन फ्यूचर का होता है अलग फॉर्म होता है, और उसके लिए ऑप्शन फ्यूचर के लिए हम लोग 6 महीने की पे स्लिप हमारे देते हैं पिछले साल, पिछले 6 महीनों की। तो अगर हम खुद अगर अज्ञान है, हमारे पास नॉलेज नहीं है, तो कोई भी हमको फंसा देगा। और हर दिन में जैसे अभी हम लोग, आपने बताया कि SMS वगैरह आता है या ईमेल वगैरह आती है, तो ये ब्रोकरेज उसका 1.34 क्या एक दिन में तो नहीं बना, उसका महीने में, 2 महीने में, 3 महीने बना होगा उसका इतना ब्रोकरेज।
नहीं 2 दिन में
2 दिन में
Within a second. Suppose 1,000 lots and 40 rupees is a 40,000 immediately. An order is executed within a second. 40,000 brokerage within a second.
ग्रेड
तो दिन नहीं लगता है उसमें. Because I have seen those examples. And people do 1,000 lots.
नहीं दूसरा देखो ना, दिस इज नॉट डिनाइड अगेन, रियल टाइम SMS। जब भी उसका पहला कॉल हो गया उसको SMS गया, सेकंड में गया, दैट ऑल्सो इज नॉट डिनाइड। नहीं, मैं पार्टी को वही बोला कि भाई प्रॉपर लॉ, स्टडी ऑल द कॉल्स, वॉट एवर यू मेड, वॉट एवर यू डिड नॉट मेक, एंड देन गो फॉर एन आर्बिट्रेशन। I of course tried to intervene, I tried to see both can come midway, at least of 1.34 he can share part of the brokerage and all that. But then since the TM had a tight case, he didn't agree. Okay. This is a second case, again somewhat recent. Complainant requested only for a cash segment, signed on all. He traded on 4th December. He said something was wrong. He was trying to contact the trading member, email, other things also, phone also. So ultimately on 11th December, he went to the office of the trading member. NSE they call it trading member. I think BSE still is called broker. Loss was around 15,000. One person of TM told him, okay, we will cover the loss. 27 December, entire investment of rupees, I did an investment of 28,000, it was 25,000 investment and 3,000 rupees debit balance gone. Again, innocently discussed some trades over phone. All FNO trades denied, telephonic log submitted about complaint. Even the complainant submitted the telephonic log about whatever was in favor of him. Trading member, all with consent. No, I asked him why there is no pre-trade call confirmation. In case of a first one, sorry, I forgot to tell you, there was even a pre-trade discussion. The other man might not have understood, but even before the call was put, there was a confirmation, and even there was a SMS log post-trade. See here, there was not a single pre-trade call. So I mean, why no pre-trade call? He said he used to call relationship manager instead of a dealer, and relationship manager used to orally tell dealer to put the order. Now since it was done on a mobile number of relationship manager, there was no question of a telephone recording. Again, real-time SMS and few calls submitted. Note the similarities. Few calls submitted by the TM in this case, few calls submitted in the earlier case. Not all or not many. Observations. Client aware of trade, he discussed. Did not say stop at 15,000. KYC was slightly deficient. Like previous experience was not mentioned and all that, but he had the experience. So
What is the seriousness of no pre-trade calls? Will you explain that first?
which one?
No pre-trade calls. How serious is
From
that?
1st of April, as per the SEBI rules, they have to necessarily have a dedicated telephone line on which the client has to put instructions.
So this is before April.
Before, this
is December.
Recent.
No, you said December.
Yeah, recently.
Is this after April or before April?
This is after April.
So after April, if there is no pre-trade call, which is mandatory, that is good enough reason to accept whatever the client is saying.
It says you note it, but it doesn't say that if there is no written instructions, you don't trade. SEBI rules don't say that.
What is the actual legal implication of no pre-trade call? Either yes or no. Black and white it has to be. You can't argue about this later. Saying that pre-trade call is meant to be this, but not is this. It is not like that, right? What does the guideline say?
The guideline says it's a violation then. Simple.
That's
but that will not be amounting to this thing.
What is the meaning of that?
नहीं मीनिंग में
Violation which has no implication.
या दिल नहीं law implication maybe some fines and all that, but that is what the submissions are. What should be done?
सर 10 रुपए का रेलवे स्टेशन पे लेस का पैकेट बिकता है तो गवर्नमेंट उसमें बोलती बिल लो। यहाँ पे इंश्योरेंस में, ब्रोकरिंग में, और यहाँ पे लोगों का घर बिकने की नौबत आ रही, गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है? आजकल तो कार्ड में से पैसा सब चला जा रहा है लोगों का।
गवर्नमेंट तो करे ना, अब ये बोल रहा है कि उसने वो
नहीं, गवर्नमेंट शुड डिसअलाउ कॉमन पीपल टू डू दिस ना।
नहीं ये रिलेशनशिप
उसमें-
मैनेजर को फोन किया।
नहीं, उसमें लिख के आना चाहिए कि तुम्हारा घर बिक सकता है, लाइक सिगरेट स्मोकिंग इज इंजूरियस टू योर हेल्थ। तो ये जो एफएनडो का फॉर्म है, इसमें नीचे लिखा ना चाहिए कि तुम्हारा घर बिक सकता है घर बैठे।
भैया देखो,
वो तो काफी कुछ कर सकते हैं। 15 से 18 साल लगा ये लेवल पे आने
ये
के
देखो,
लिए।
ऐसे ही।
NSCI 1994 में 25 साल हो गया। अभी भी हम लोग ये ग्रे एरिया ऑफ द लॉज वी आर डिस्कसिंग।
नहीं और एक चीज है इसमें।
घोड़ा का मालिक है, बैठा है, देख रहा है।
और एक चीज है कि ये जो सबमिशन था रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर, ये बात सही थी। देयर वाज सम रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर विथ whom he used to be in touch. Again, call it a breach of trust or anything. तो this also is not a मतलब ये makeshift, ये नहीं है स्टेटमेंट।
So what did you do?
नहीं, आप लोगों को बताओ अभी और क्या कर सकते हैं इसमें। मतलब कई बार जैसे जनरल ये नो कि कुछ नहीं कर सकते। अल्टीमेटली वी शोड द ट्रेडिंग मेंबर ऑल दिस फ्लॉज। वी टोल्ड क्लाइंट कि भाई एट 15,000 you did not say stop at 15,000. When you came to know that there is a loss of 15,000, you did not say stop. You discuss the trades. Innocently discuss. What does innocent means? See, a trading member sitting at the top will not be seeing 100 people discussing trades innocently. He will not be able to control. And because of his employees are doing something wrongly, you cannot subsequently get money from the trading member. That is the general philosophy with which we go. But we did tell trading member that this is what has happened. There is something wrong with your side also. Something wrong with the investor also. He did not stop at 15,000. Ultimately, trading member agreed to pay 7,500. Basically, 50% of it plus debit balance in the account. So that is around 3,000 of debit balance. 28 minus 25, that's 3. So investor got 10,500. And mind it, this is the case where the investor was absent. The trading member alone had come, and then we took, and there was no conference call, but I spoke to investor first before start of the meeting, and midway between the meeting, and at the end of the meeting I asked him whether you are prepared. He said, okay, I am prepared.
So investor did not even come to the meeting.
He did not come and still got a judgment in his favor.
No, but he doesn't even come after losing money. Doesn't even deserve to get any money. Seriously.
He's not bothered.
ज़्यादा I mean generally black and white नहीं, grey area काफ़ी रहता है। Anyway, हाँ।
क्या
आई थिंक मैं एक मिनट और थोड़ा सा ऐड करता हूँ मैं। अगर इन्वेस्टर एग्री नहीं करता और जैसे 4,000 5,000 जो देता है वो बाइंडिंग रहता, नेक्स्ट स्टेज इज अगेन डिफिकल्ट। सो इन्वेस्टर टुक ए वेरी गुड डिसीजन बिकॉज आई एम नॉट श्योर वेदर आर्बिट्रेशन ही वुड हैव स्टूड एनी चांसेस।
सर ये 200 में से कोई एक आदमी आप जैसे लॉयर के साथ जाता होगा?
कौन? नहीं लॉयर वैसे IGRP में अलाउ नहीं
Sorry,
करते।
मतलब आपके
I'm a
पास
panel member, मतलब-
अच्छा शिकायत लेके जाता होगा, लेकिन आई मीन टू से कि अबाउट 199 आदमी का तो पैसा ब्रोकर खा लेता है। अभी एक आदमी को उसने रिटर्न दे दिया,
नहीं
बाकी
जाता।
सब तो हाँ आधा दे दिया। जैसे इन दैट केस 1,34,000 वाज द ब्रोकरेज अमाउंट। अगर कोई एक आदमी चला गया तो ब्रोकर बोलेगा ठीक है इसको दे दो, बाकी 98 का तो मैं खा रहा हूँ ना बैठ के।
नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता।
नहीं गलती तो है ना, तो मतलब कुछ
नहीं, इसमें
वही
तो-
मेरा कहना है कि वेयर इज द लॉ ऑफ द लैंड फॉर द कॉमन पीपल?
इधर देखो आप,
इट इज इन फेवर ऑफ द ब्रोकर्स।
ये ऑल इनोसेंटली डिस्कस। अरे अब जब आपको बता रहा है कोई बंदा कि भैया ठीक है मैं ये अकाउंट में इतने शेयर्स खरीद रहा हूँ, व्हाई शुड यू शुड से यस? ब्रोकर तो कहीं वहाँ पे रहता नहीं है ना। व्हाई शुड यू से यस? आउट ऑफ ब्रीड फियर, व्हाट कैन द सिस्टम डू? Then you are getting the real time SSS. Why did not you stop it from the first SMS? Why did not you stop it at the end of the day? Why do you wait for 2-3 days? If the market goes up or down, again you will come out with some different story. It cannot be कि भाई फायदा हो गया तो मेरा घाटा हो गया तो ब्रोकर गलत है।
97% केस में तो पब्लिक का ही लॉस हो रहा है, यू नो दैट डेटा इन एफ&ओ, सो देयर शुड बी सम लॉ टू प्रोटेक्ट।
See, loss is basically because of the each on the palm, nothing more. You feel like trading.
This SMS, have you, is a format prescribed which everybody follows?
People do follow. It's all, unless somebody wants to cheat or something, in that case it's different.
The format is different for shares and different for FNO. In case of shares, you will actually get the name of the shares and the amount. So let's say you sold 100 Tisco, in your SMS you can read 100 Tisco delivered, this comes from the demat account.
Okay.
FNO, whether it's email or whatever, it's an alert. The actual details and actual loss and transaction details are not available in the SMS. So for that you have to see the actual contract note, which is 2-3 steps. Okay, so to say that alert aa raha tha, kya alert aa raha tha? That I have traded, Tisco futures 3 lots, and this is the buy, this is a sell, this is a loss. ऐसा alert aa raha tha kya? नहीं, ये नहीं है.
Yeah, when they don't give quantity and all?
No.
I don't know, but I think if that be the case, probably some suggestion can go to SEBI.
Suggestions have been going for 18 years, 24 years.
And secondly, if you have not done anything, why should you get a single SMS? The moment you get a SMS, you should be, like this case I saw, no? He should have immediately contacted his broker. Again, how the IGRP is different from arbitration, I'll tell you. Somebody told broker to sell a particular share and put a stop loss at a particular amount. Say bought at 450 rupees, put a stop loss at 460 rupees. Broker wrongly sold again at 460. Instead of buying it and squaring off the sell order, he again went for a second position at 460. Again, real-time SMS went to the client. He probably complained. When he complained, the rate was somewhere around 469 rupees. And then he said, okay, probably yes, the rate will go down at the end of the day and all that. We'll make some money and all that. It didn't happen. This fellow did not clear the deal. Ultimately, next day, both the deals were squared. Now the case came to me. Since it's 415, I will not take your opinion right now. Go into that. So this fellow wanted that entire deal should be off. And case came to me again, going by the contract. I took a view that at 469, when you discussed, you clearly knew the position that you had one sell at 450, another wrong sell at 460 instead of a cover at 460. You clearly knew the position. So that time only you should have said, okay boss, I don't agree with you. Whatever you did belongs to you. Whatever I did belongs to me. Whatever I incurred the loss should be borne by me. Whatever you incurred should be borne by you, including brokerage and all that. There it should have ended. So I said up to 469, the loss belongs to the broker for that other order, and 469 to 474 or 75, whenever was clear, it belongs to the party because he had acquiesced in the trade, accepted the trade by sort of a consenting to carry it forward. And accordingly, I suggested an amount of 9,000 rupees, but I knew party was not knowing much about it, so I still had a discussion with them. I informed the broker. I told him that there is something wrong. Party doesn't know. And again, brokerage earned was a substantial amount, because there were other trades. So I said, why don't you part with some of the brokerage at least? Because otherwise my amount is coming to only 9,000 rupees. Let's have some settlement in between. Broker, after some consultation, offered 14,500. Believe me. Now those of us who say that brokers are meant to cheat, I tell you, the person who is going to benefit by cheating you or anything is the one who is a sub-broker or a person to whom it is mapped. Person who comes to the IGRP comes from the back end. He is more interested into a client relationship, maintaining the clients. Because getting one client, those who are from the business line will know, is much more difficult than retaining a client. So they are interested. So immediately offered 14,500, and then secondly, when we say something with proper this thing, the people are also influenced a little bit. He agreed for a 14,500. Client, knowing everything well, he said no. I had invested 15,000 rupees in this deal. I should get 17,000. I am prepared to bear a loss of 2,500. I should get 15,000. Deal did not go well. I said, till I am in the meeting hall, probably I can sign and help. Beyond that, I just shut off myself. There is no question of me interfering into it. We went out. On way I was nearing the gate. This gentleman, again he is a professor, I'll tell you. The professor told me, sir, you told me to accept for 14,000. He has now agreed for 15,000. I said, okay, but I cannot change my order, it is gone. What you do is to immediately go to the exchange, give a letter and put it in writing and settle it off. Probably, I don't know, he also left the premises or whatever has happened. In the night at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, he gave me a call. Sir, you decided wrongly. I said, why, what happened? He said, no, you should not have written 9,000, you should have written 15,000 because he was agreeing. And because now he is saying no. This is what happens when you don't take responsibility for the funds and when you don't understand the situation and you think that I am only right and the other man is wrong. So this was the other side of it. So now,
I didn't understand what you mean.
I say ultimately then it became a 9,000 thing, no? Entitlement. He was getting an offer of 14,500 against my sanction of 9,000 rupees. I worked out the claim based on my thinking was at 469 rupees he has entered into the trade when he spoke to the broker.
So when he offered 14,000 in front of you, you would have written 14 on the document?
He did not agree. No. I had said, I told.
I'm asking something else. Suppose he had said yes to 14 and a half.
Yeah.
And in the night the broker had changed his mind. It's not written down. You know, whether
It doesn't exist.
whether he said yes or no in the meeting, he could have still reneged on it, right?
Which one? No, that was all of
Broker
it.
could have still gone back on it, right?
That's why I said in the IGRP it's a sort of a mediation thing. These are, what do you call it, without prejudice offers.
No, my point is that you are writing only 9,000.
Yeah.
So if the broker says 14 or even 20 in the meeting, what sanctity does it have if it's not in writing? He can still go back home and change his mind, isn't it? Or is there some way that you will ensure that because he said 20 or 14 or 15 in front of you, that money will actually be paid?
The broker saying 14, he will not agree that he had offered 14 when the working out is 9,000 or something. It happens at the IGRP level, wherein purely, I said no, evidence or facts don't go.
No, but all this was happening at IGRP only, right?
Yeah, IGRP only. When almost 9,000 the signing was done and I had not left the premises, I still tried as a last minute to work out some settlement. But this fellow was not agreeing and broker said, I am agreeing provided there is a mutual settlement. So he also should agree for it. See, otherwise what happens, you gave an order against broker for 14,500, then this fellow goes into arbitration, broker again spends money on arbitration. At times, even if you are not at a loss, you agree for a thing because you don't want to enter into hassles.
So what was the 9,000 about? Because otherwise you're saying they didn't agree, it fell through and he didn't get his money.
Yeah.
But what is the 9,000 you said you put in
9,000 is
writing?
the loss which I said has been caused due to broker to the party. Now the party got greedy for 500 rupees, he left the chance. Okay, it's 420, just, okay.
So we'll take the cases.
We do
Yeah.
insurance and banking somehow.
Banking, we'll leave it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.